and safe in your home. And I believe that you remember our last class question. And I welcome you to our today's chemistry class. Can you remember what we have learned in the last class? Yeah, right. We have learned about some notable scientists, right? Can you name some scientists? Rutherford, Marie Curie. You know all the scientists, right? You have learned. Very good. Now we can move on to our today's topic. It is application of chemistry in our day-to-day life. In the first class even I said, in everyday life we are using chemistry. How we are using? After getting up, we are going for brushing. We use toothpaste. Their chemistry is there. Then bathing, soap chemistry is there. So already we know in our day-to-day life we are using chemistry. Now we can study the field, some fields in which chemistry is used. For example, consider soap. That is one field. Another field, food. You can consider bread, cheese. There also chemistry is there. Now in the first heading we are going to learn food and chemistry. In food and chemistry we have carbohydrate, right? We are very familiar with this carbohydrate. Carbohydrate is a main source of carbohydrate is glucose. Glucose gives energy for us. In this carbohydrate we have chemicals, chemistry. Now next one, starch. Starch we know, no? After we are cooking the rice, we will take the extract water. That water is called starch. This starch is used in stiffening the cloths. So food is used in chemistry. Cellulose. Cellulose is a food, type of food. That is a food that we get from the plant. This cellulose is used in making paper. Sugar. Sugar we are using in making sweet, chocolates, etc. This is a food. Sugar is a food. So like this, carbohydrate is used in chemistry. Come to proteins. We can say some protein act as enzymes, some protein act as hormones, some proteins act as collagen fibers. These are all the things responsible for different functions in our body. So, food has chemistry. Now, the next one is processing of food. Here, in food processing and preservation. What is food processing? Processing something. What is processing? Consider a wheat. We are getting wheat from the field. We can't eat that wheat as such, right? Some process has to be done to make it edible. For us to eat, we have to do something. That is called food processing. That is, we are getting the wheat from the field. Then we are making into flour. Then we can make into bread, cheese, chapatis, whatever we do. This is called. This step-by-step process is called food processing. Next come to preservation. What is the meaning of the word preservation? Preventing, right? Preventing from something. What is food preservation? That is to stop the spoilage of food and prevent loss of its nutritive values. Preserve food. Did you understand? That is why we consider a food that we are getting from bakery. If we did not preserve that will get spoiled. To avoid getting spoilage and to prevent the loss of its nutritive value. If you keep food for long time, its nutritive value, the energy available in the food will decrease. So that to have the full nutritive value And to stop the spoilage of food, we use some preservatives. That is called food preservation. Did you understand? Now, the preservation of food is based on one principle. That is delaying self-decomposition of food. That is, while we consider a food and when we use some preservatives to preserve it, we can delay the self-decomposition. Decomposition means it is getting spoiled. That is decomposed into another material or it is getting spoiled. That is to delay self-decomposition. If we add some preservatives, we can delay the self-decomposition and destroying microorganism. Microorganism, when there is microorganism, it reacts with that food materials and it will decompose very fastly. So, to destroy the microorganism and to delay the process of self-decomposition, this preservation is used. So, now we can see some examples of food preservation. In olden days, people used salt for preserving food. For example, fish we are getting. When they cannot sell that fish within 1 or 2 days, they will put it in salt so that it cannot spoil. So in olden days they used salt and many items. Now we are using some methods: canning, freezing, pasteurization and some chemicals. This pasteurization you know, right? Louis Pasteur has discovered pasteurization of milk. Last class we have learned pasteurization. Then freezing. We are using freezers in our home. If we get the fish, in order to make it safe, that is to prevent it from decomposing, we are using in freezers. Then chemicals come here. Some of the chemicals are given. Sodium benzoate is used in preserving colored fruits and vegetables. Then potassium metabisulfate is used in preserving some colorless fruits. Then acetic acid is used in preserving pickles. And one more thing is pectin powder. It is used in preserving jam or jellies. Did you understand food processing and preservation and how chemistry is used in food preservation and processing? Okay, come next. Next is cosmetics and chemistry. What is cosmetics? Do you know what is cosmetics? That is items used to keep external body parts clean, healthy and good looking are called cosmetics. Cosmetics we use to our external body parts. We should not take to internal body parts. That is called cosmetics. What are the cosmetics we use generally? Soap, shampoo, then eyeliner, lip creams, etc. Right? These are all the cosmetic items generally we use. But do you know from which these cosmetic items are made of? They are made of synthetic chemicals. What? Synthetic chemicals. Synthetic chemicals are not good for our body because it is not natural. Okay? So, it is not good for our body. So, the cosmetics we use, example, soap, shampoo, toothpaste, lipstick, creams, etc. are made of synthetic chemicals, and these synthetic chemicals are not natural, so it is not good for our body. And this synthetic chemicals composed of water, pH stabilizers, dyes, etc. Many things combined together to make the synthetic chemicals. So, no natural items are used. So only we call it as synthetic chemicals, and there is no natural chemicals, and it is harmful to our body. Now we can see some of the chemicals used in cosmetics. Sodium lauryl. Sodium lauryl is used in making toothpaste and shampoo, soap like this. Next, creams. The creams we apply in our skin is made of zinc oxide. Lip color, nail paint. We use this cosmetics and it is made of titanium dioxide. One more main application of this titanium dioxide is sunscreens. Did you understand how chemicals and chemistry is used in cosmetics? Okay. The next application of chemistry is clothing and chemistry. We all know what is clothes, right? What we wear, the dresses we wear are called clothes. What is the link between this clothing and chemistry? Come on, we can see. In olden days, that is about 30,000 years ago, what man used for clothing? In olden days, in initial days, man has used leaves. Leaves we obtained from various plants to protect themselves and their body. Next, after leaves, they are developed to animal skin. They will kill the animals and use that skin for clothing. And in 3000 BC, China people started using silk that we obtained from silkworms. Silkworms produce silk and they used the silks for clothes. At the same time, in India, we used cotton as unstitched. They won't stitch that, they will use that cotton as unstitched fabric. While China used silk, the same time India is using unstitched fabric that is made of cotton. Then now we are using cotton, linen, flax, hemp fibers, wool. These are all natural things, natural fibers. That is, we obtain from various plants and animals. That is the semi-synthetic blended fibers. That semi-synthetic means half synthetic and half nature. That is, example, terrycloth. Terrycloth is the combination of cotton and terry. To overcome the disadvantages such as allergies to our skins to get easily fired, we use this terrycloth. So, you can understand clearly now how chemistry is used in clothing, right? Our next topic is chemistry in medicine. We are using chemistry in medicine. All the medicines we use, there are chemicals. For example, we can see some of the medicines. That is, first one is antibiotics. Antibiotics is given for some infections. While we get infected by some bacteria or fungi, we use this antibiotics, right? Some of the antibiotics can be inhaled and some can be used outside. Some of the antibiotics are penicillin, streptomycin, etc. This penicillin and streptomycin are some of the antibiotics. They are made up of fungi and bacteria. Generally, they use fungi or bacteria to create this antibiotics. But now we are using chemicals also for making antibiotics. The next one is analgesis. Analgesis is used for relieving pain. While we feel pain in our body, for relieving that pain, we use this analgesis. Some of the commonly used analgesis are paracetamol and aspirin. Did you understand? The next medicine is antipyretis. Antipyretis. For what this is used is, it is used for curing fever. The commonly used antipyretosis or paracetamol and aspirin. The next one is antiseptics. Antiseptics are used while we get cut in our hand. In that place there will be growth of microorganism. When we allow these microorganisms to grow, it will make another problem. So to prevent the growth of microorganisms, these antiseptics are used. Natural antiseptics are neem, turmeric. These are the commonly used natural antiseptics. There is one man-made antiseptic, that is tincture of iodine. It is man-made, it is chemical. Next, antihistamines. Antihistamines are generally used to treat allergies, that is rashes, breathlessness, etc. Next is antacids. Antacids used for treating the excess acids produced in our stomach. That is while we feel acidity, right? We know acidity. While we feel acidity, to reduce the excess acids produced in our stomach, these antacids are used. The commonly used antacids are milk of magnesia. Then the natural antacids, mint leaves can also be used as antacids. Did you understand how chemistry is used in medicine? Now in today's class, what we have learned? Application of chemistry in food, application of chemistry in clothing, application of chemistry in medicine, and the application of chemistry in cosmetics and food processing. I hope you all understood today's class. In the next class, we will learn about application of chemistry in industry.
Food preservation, processing of food to prevent their spoilage and to retain their nutritive value for long periods is called food preservation. Preservation of food helps us in the following ways. It reduces the food wastage, increases the storage period, helps to transport food to distant places, helps to store food for seasons when they are not available. Now, let us discuss about some methods to preserve food. Canning. By canning, food can be preserved for a long time, but flavor is affected. In this method, food is heated to high temperatures to kill the microbes and spores. It is then sealed in cans or other airtight containers. Drying. This method is used to preserve vegetables, fruits, and some meats. In this method, water is removed from the food so that the microbes die as they cannot live without water. Curing. In curing, salts or smoke are used to remove water and kill microbes. During smoking, the food is held over a wood fire. This kills the bacteria and molds and gives the food a delicious flavor. For salting, the food is either soaked in salt solution or salt is rubbed on it. The salt draws the water out of the bacterial cells, thus killing them. Pickling. In pickling, vinegar or oil is used which kills the microbes and protects the food. Oil prevents the growth of bacteria. Jam making. Sugar syrup is used to preserve food because sugar prevents the growth of bacteria. Jams stay for a long time without getting spoiled due to the sugar syrup in them. Pasteurization. Milk is heated to 63 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes or 72 degrees Celsius for 15 seconds and then cooled rapidly to 10 degrees Celsius. This kills bacteria which causes diseases. The milk is stored in sterilized bottles or cartons and then sealed. Deep freezing. Food can stay for a few weeks in deep freezers without getting spoiled because temperatures of -18 degrees Celsius or 0 degree Fahrenheit or below can stop bacterial growth. But when the temperature rises again, the bacteria become active and multiply. This spoils the food. Aseptic packaging. The food product is sterilized and then packaged in sterilized containers. This process is called aseptic packaging. Milk can be stored in this way for 6 months without refrigeration.
I hope you all understood today's class. Okay students, we will meet you in the next class. Thank you. Have a nice day.